A broadcast license is a type of spectrum license granting the licensee permission to use a portion of the radio frequency spectrum in a given geographical area for broadcasting purposes. The licenses generally include restrictions, which vary from band to band. Spectrum may be divided according to use, as indicated in a graph from the National Telecommunications and Information Administration. Frequency allocations may be represented by different types of services which vary in size. Many options exist when applying for a broadcast license. The FCC determines how much spectrum to allot to licensees in a given band, according to what is needed for the service in question. The determination of frequencies used by licensees is done through frequency allocation, which in the United States is specified by the FCC in a table of allotments. The FCC is authorized to regulate spectrum access for private and government uses. However, the National Telecommunications and Information Administration of the Commerce Department allocates spectrum for use by the federal government. In some cases, the public may use spectrum without a license. Commercial users will receive an FCC assignment to a portion of spectrum, which may be a single frequency or a band of frequencies. In issuing broadcast licenses, the FCC relies on comparative hearings, whereby the most qualified user will be granted use of the spectrum to best serve the public interest. Researchers have pointed out that this procedure favors incumbents. Violation of the terms of a license may result in fines or revocation of the license. Licenses have also been jeopardized by misrepresentation on the part of the holder or failure to keep a public file. Unlicensed broadcasting refers to legal devices allowed to transmit at low power without a license, and pirate stations, which violate the law. In the US, broadcast licenses were issued for only a nominal payment. But economist Ronald Coase challenged the FCC's approach. Coase proposed that, as for other resources, the market should regulate the use of radio spectrum. This proposition is based on the Coase theorem. With well-defined property rights, the free market will allocate resources to their most efficient use if transaction costs are low. Coase's theory indicated that broadcast licenses in a spectrum that was limited had high economic value, which should be paid on the open market. Licenses are increasingly offered via spectrum auctions. However, this fails to consider non-commercial educational users. Licensing is conducted by a broadcasting authority to manage the radio frequency spectrum and implement public policy, such as that regarding the concentration of media ownership. In the US, the Federal Communications Commission does not assign licenses to exclusive users, instead permitting qualified users to apply for a license. The Radio Act of 1927 established the regulatory premise that the spectrum belongs to the public, and licensees have no property rights to use it. Although the spectrum is licensed to bidders, its purchase does not entail ownership or rights but the privilege of using that portion of the spectrum. The process of obtaining a new broadcast license may be lengthy. A broadcast engineer first determines an available frequency, which may be unavailable in a crowded media market. If a frequency is available, an engineering study is submitted with an application to the broadcasting authority to demonstrate that the licensee will not cause RF interference to existing stations. There is a limited term for the license once acquired. According to the United States Government Printing Office in 1997, the term could exceed 8 years. However, this has been shortened to 5 years or less. A construction permit is first issued, with the license receiving approval when the station certifies that the permit has been executed. Once a facility is built and operational, it may be allowed to operate under Program Test Authority until the license is issued. Where a station is close to an international border, a license may also need to be approved by the foreign country's broadcasting authority for frequency coordination. This is done even if the border is outside of a station's predicted broadcast range, since radio propagation sometimes causes stations to be heard outside their service area. Existing stations apply for permits and license amendments when making changes to their facilities. Temporary situations are covered by special temporary authority to operate at a variance from the license or permit or a restricted service license to operate for a fixed period at reduced power. While these are FCC and Ofcom terms, respectively, other countries have similar regulations. In the US, Court cases can prolong the process when mutually exclusive applications are received. The FCC opens application window periods of about a week. Some applications have been pending for years. Others end up in ADM.